Go.
All right. 7 o'clock, or excuse me, 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we'll call the meeting, the second meeting of the month, July, Board of Trustees. Welcome, everyone. I entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of July 1.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Crockett moves, and I will second that. Any further discussion regarding those minutes with corrections? Hearing none, may we vote please?
Mr. Crockett?
Yes.
Mr. Mutcher?
Yes. Now we entertain a motion to pay bills in the amount of $60,514.11. Broken down general fund, $3,396.35. Fire fund, $21,728.84. Cemetery fund, $260.88. EMS building, $10,405.04. Road and bridge, $2,807.80. Capital project, $21,033. Is there a motion?
I will make that motion.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion regarding payment of those accounts? Hearing none, may we vote please?
Mr. Mutcher?
Yes.
Mr. Crockett?
Yes.
Correspondence for the period is very light. Just have Green County Sanitary Engineering Department newsletter, Ohio Township Association newsletter, Ohio Department of Taxation final determination, which was to determine we were tax exempt, permanently tax exempt on the properties that we acquired from Wright State on Xenia Avenue, which will have our new fire station on it in a year and a month. Yeah. A letter from Citizens for Green Acres. This is regarding the solar solar generator project out in Miami Township and Cedarville Township. This would be the second meeting, and it's going to be on the 19th at 6:30 at Cedarville High School. The zoning commission minutes of April 16th, the fund status, revenue status for 7/5/19, and we missed one. We missed the Guide to Yellow Springs revisions.
Oh, no, I got that on there. Email from Wise News, there are changes to 2819 Guide to Yellow Springs.
Oh, I got it, there it is right there. Okay, well, we missed the second one that I haven't put in there yet, which is the same, which is, this one was for the, this one was for the township, and I put one in for the cemeteries, so it's not there. Now, how about any other ones? Hearing none, let's move to the fire department report.
All right. Since the last board meeting, we've had 39 EMS calls, 21 fire calls, done 3 fire safety inspection activities. With the weekend of June 29th, 30th, I think it was 6 members completed our rope rescue operations course, taught by Jeremy and Nate. So well. Firefighter TJ Fries, volunteer, has completed his EMT class at Clark State and passed his registry, so he's our newest EMT.
Oh, good.
And the new things, EMT Georgia Goad has successfully completed her Firefighter 1 course at St. Clair, is now certified, and now she is in Firefighter 2. And we're paying for her course, and we'll be reimbursed by the state in January-ish for her class. And we actually benefited because she's a Montgomery County resident, so she was able to get both those classes for like $900.
Really?
Yeah, like those amazing prices they pay
Yeah.
in county at St. Clair, so.
Yeah. Great.
And then recent incidents of note. Wednesday, July 3rd, we were dispatched to report a building collapse on Smith Road with people trapped.
Summer's property.
Yep. So we got there and luckily no one was hurt or trapped, but most likely due to the torrential rain, their entire front wall of their basement foundation collapsed into the basement. It had all just been down there actually, which was really lucky. We were popping sound and got out.
They said it was like a wall of water, like a big wave just come out of the
Yeah,
field.
must have been. The neighbor,
Big thing,
Mr.
yeah.
Kugler, stopped me. He's got a rain gauge. He said in 35 minutes they received 4.5 inches of rain out there. I mean, there's a place I've never seen flooded.
That's what I heard, it was like just like a wave of water came
Yeah,
out of that
it
field.
had to be.
It never comes out of that way.
Wasn't it kind of this house is on a bank, built into a bank somehow that kind of.
It's just lower than the field in front of it, and then their driveway, so it's, water just kinda
That's where it came.
cascaded. They said they never had that problem before, but there was so much rain. I mean, DYS was flooded in places I've never seen it flooded before.
Yeah.
And that first culvert on Snip, like when you turn off Dayton Hill Springs,
Mm-hmm.
there was water coming up over the top.
I've seen
So
that
much.
happen before, but never, like in Semler's, never seen water. I've seen it over the road down West Semler, but never come out of that
Yeah,
field.
it's crazy. So they were lucky.
Yeah.
Building inspection came out, took a look at the building, and board up company came out and covered up the hole. So, yeah.
Is it totaled or?
I haven't,
They're waiting
Not the
here.
wall.
they're still waiting to hear. Building inspection was concerned about, it's one of those unit-built houses, they kind of truck in the two halves and put together.
Mhm.
And then most of it's, I didn't know this, but most of their structural stability comes from the foundation walls.
Mm.
They don't have a lot of cross beams or that, so. But Al and the inspector on scene kind of felt that if they get someone in there to actually shore it up,
Mhm.
it might be okay, but they're gonna work with insurance on the same figure and stuff like
So the above ground part of it didn't break or stretch?
that. Not at the time, but, Mr. Semler had gone in to get medications, and, he was like, I'm not going back in there again, and the whole floor was
Yeah.
making weird noises, which was pretty much what the building inspector came in to tell him at the time that he was coming out. He's like, don't worry, I will go back in.
Mhm.
So they were very lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then this past Saturday night, guys were Saturday night, they were dispatched to a barn fire on South River Road. On their arrival, they had a fully involved barn with 2 horses trapped inside, who unfortunately did not make it out. The barn was filled with tons of straw, hay, so it was burned for a long time. Guys worked for a long time to get it under control, they were done around 11 p.m. I think that night, they were dispatched around 7:30.
What'd they do for water?
They had to shuttle down to Cedarville University.
Mhm.
So they had tankers, our tanker,
Mhm.
Houston, Pitchin, and 2 from Cedarville, and 2 from Xenia Township.
Wow.
So they shuttled down to the university and back, so
Mhm.
about 5 or 6 miles round trip probably.
Can you still draft out of the mill? That's all done.
Yeah, I haven't been able to do that in years. Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
Why can't you throw a line in the river?
We can't do, the river, there's no real way for us to access it, it's too shallow. In there we couldn't get to. It's deep in the gorge, but we can't get down.
Mhm.
We can't get down there. There used to be the mill race at the mill that, I think it was Chief Williman had a dry hydrant installed, but it's never been deep enough, and there's so much silt in there, that doesn't really serve our purposes. Green County, it wasn't soil and water, but it's one of the agricultural things. They had a grant to install dry hydrants in
Mhm.
the county, probably about 8 years ago. And we didn't qualify at all because none of our water sources are deep enough. You have to have at least 8 feet
Yeah.
to the top of the dry hydrant and 2 feet below, and we have nothing that's, comes even, except for going for a pool. That comes that close, so, so the Clifton metro area, we either shuttle back to Yellow Springs, then to Cedarville, or up to the airport.
It's too bad, I mean, we've got Clifton Reserve right there. And it goes
Yeah.
right to the edge.
Yeah, it's still not deep, it's not deep enough, unfortunately. Because the problem is then silt builds up,
Mhm.
and because they looked at that one, because I suggested, oh, what about this, because we can actually cut drive close. And went out and took a look, and,
Why can't you float the end of the,
we could go and
Hose
put a
in there.
fire engine there and put a float, I mean, it wouldn't be permanent, obviously.
right,
And it could work, but it often takes, I mean, it takes more time to do than just, we had, with all those tankers shuttling, you always had water moving pretty well,
Mhm.
so. You just have to have enough tankers to do it.
yeah.
We couldn't
Well,
do it by
fortunately,
ourselves.
we're in a position geographically and, you know, friendly that we can get enough mutual aid.
Oh,
We
yeah.
generally get
Yeah,
tankers.
yeah, and it worked out pretty
Plenty.
well. And I mean, you've got Houston, Pitchin, and Cedarville all have gigantic tankers, so that helped out pretty much, so.
Speaking of tankers, did we ever get a new dump valve for the old one?
No, I just checked on it today when I got back, and it's on back order. So, as soon as it gets here, we'll plop that sucker on, but, I don't know if they make them in China, and they have, maybe it's a tariff issue, but
Dan tried to start it a while ago and it
Yeah, a
wouldn't
couple
start.
weeks ago, and I couldn't get anything out of it, and we're not doing something right.
No, it's entirely possible that
Batteries are dead.
it's sat for a while, it's possible, the guys are supposed to go out and start it once a week, but I
Yeah,
don't.
it hasn't. Does that have a shoreline on it?
It's got a place for a shoreline, yeah.
I'll just find my cord. We used to have a plug-in. I can plug it in and charge it.
Okay, yeah. I
I'll
would-
try it.
Definitely.
Otherwise, I have to take that whole bucket first step off them.
I think
Get
so.
to the battery.
Yeah, I think it's under that step. Maybe we can jump in now, just make sure the guys go out once a week and fire it up, drive it around.
Well, we'll have to charge it, yeah.
Well, yeah, first it's gotta be charged. But yeah, it's got a shoreline on the passenger side.
Okay. I'll see if I can find that.
Alright,
Get
cool.
like, just plug it in. We made one, so if we have them out there, we'll plug it in.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. And that's it?
Okay. Mark, anything for the chief? So we'll do the new firehouse report. Well, let me back up one step. Aren't we due a second payment from Bath Township on the 15th of July?
Yeah.
Just wondering.
I don't remember what the schedule is. I mean, I know there's 2 payments a year,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
Could have sworn it was 15th of July.
Okay.
Were we invoicing them, or was it just showing up in the mail?
Honestly, I do not know. The first payment, I think they just sent, because we never sent it. I mean, I never sent an invoice,
No, they just sent us a check.
so.
Well, we'll wait if it doesn't show up.
I know they've canceled their last meeting, so maybe they haven't had, they don't meet again until the 31st or something. Because they had 2 out of 3 trustees were out of town. So. I guess that's the skinny, that's the word on the street.
I see. Okay, so we'll go to the new firehouse.
Street's very interested in that.
We had a lengthy, and I'm talking lengthy, phone conference call last Wednesday. And we'll have another one tomorrow, but hopefully it won't be so lengthy. I guess the main thing is I've placed ads in the 3 major newspapers again for the bids, in the new format, obviously. And so they will start Wednesday and run for 3 weeks. And then we'll have our pre-construction meeting on the 31st at the Bryan Center at 2:30 in the afternoon. I set that up also last week, and that's good. What else did we do? We cut a zillion things, I swear, out of the firehouse, but it only amounted to $54,002, and we needed $90,000 more out of it. Some of the things are the geotech fabric will probably not be used. We're working to get some costs out of the engineering architectural fee column and the project inspection and equipment columns. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little more out of that. Denny's working on that, and we may know more phone calls day after tomorrow. Some of the exterior signage and the turnout gears and personal locker gears and window shades will probably be pulled from the base bid, and we'll purchase them on the open market. It's hard to give a fee how much we're gonna save there, but it won't have the roughly 8% markup fee, and we won't have to install it in prevailing wage lines. We're gonna change the water line from ductile iron to PVC to save money. The village uses all PVC on their main water lines now too, so that could save us in between $5,000 and $10,000. Instead of specifying brick, we're going to provide an allowance of $400 per 1,000 brick. That way, these contractors can choose what they prefer and show it to us, and then we'll get to choose from what they have available. Not really saving us money, but giving us more flexibility. He did mark down the total savings of taking the turnout gear and personal lockers, window shades out of the base bid. It's gonna save us $1,972. not a whole lot. We're really getting down to the nitty-gritty here. There was a recommendation from a contractor saying that we should flatten our roof line one step from a 2 to 12 to a 1 to 12, going from like this to like this, and that would make it flat enough that a membrane roof would work on it instead of a standing seam, and that would save us $90,000 or something. But we had a long discussion about that and decided that, you know, we've just changed the roof line and changed the exterior and made so many changes on that just we weren't gonna go that route. So that was shelved, as they say. We have removed, I think we put it in an alternate, yeah, we did put it in alternate, 3 parking spaces in the back for an additional $15,000 in savings. We talked about not piping the downspouts into sanitary, or not sanitary, but sewer line. Sanitary sewer, no, not sanitary. Storm sewer, that's right, I couldn't think of that name. And to save, that would save $15,000, but, or $10,000, I'm sorry, but the discussion was that if that was run onto splash blocks in the wintertime, although they thought it would ice up, well, if it was too cold, if it was cold enough to freeze, it wouldn't drain off the downspouts, so I don't know. I guess the idea was, first it rained, and then it covered the apron, and then it froze, and then it would be a problem. So this way we're leaving it.
That's a.
Okay.
Were you gonna say not a very likely scenario?
Small things.
That's a very standard cost cutting thing that comes back and bites you in the ass, and I saw it at several stations, so you wonder why not do things, so.
I tried to convince them to remove piping insulation on cold water pipes and not just the hot water pipes, but they said it was a code requirement, and I had hoped we could get the compressed air piping changed from, I think, iron to PVC, and apparently that's already been accounted for because Dan followed up with KLH. The original urinals were still in the bid estimate, and I asked if they'd been accounted for in the final estimate, and he noted that they had been, even though they're still in the project estimate. I thought perhaps we could eliminate the one drinking fountain, and apparently it needs to stay also, so we're not making much progress with that stuff. Some of the solid surfaces, some of the casework that might be able to be gotten off the shelf as opposed to having them custom made. That was decision to have some of those changed, with the exception of 2 ADA custom ones in the kitchen, and that's going to count to save $15,000. The concrete apron at the front and rear of the buildings are going to be narrowed down to align with the overhead door jambs. This would eliminate approximately 445 square feet of heavy-duty concrete and 188 square feet of heavy-duty asphalt, to save $6,030. We're going to use batt insulation with a vapor barrier in the stud cavities of the walls rather than the closed cell spray foam that you see those guys doing. Spraying all the time. That's $5,000 to $6,000, and that amounts to $54,200. In my infinite wisdom, and hopefully got my fingers crossed, I suggested that I said that I would move at this meeting. I gotta get this right formally. Move at this meeting for the general fund to contribute an additional $25,000 to the project out of its, what would end up being 2 years worth of income, because it wouldn't be needed until the end of 2019, or 2020. Hopefully that would not be necessary because of cost savings, and we recall, we do have $275,000 in contingencies that are not being earmarked for anything on the construction side. So, you know, we may end up not having to do that, but we do need to get closer to this $90,000 mark to be hopefully to come in within that 10% window that we've got to deal with on when the bids come in. So, having made that motion, having made that motion, is there a second?
Second
Okay, Mr. Cronin
To
is-
repeat the motion is, that you're authorizing the general fund to contribute $25,000 towards the new fire station project at the end of 2020. Is that how you said that?
If needed,
If needed.
we may need to make that, commitment when the bids come in, if it's that close, that we need the 25,000 there, in order to be within the 10%, because USDA won't let us accept any bids if we're over the 10%.
Okay, so authorize the general fund to contribute 25,000 to the project
Upon
as
bid opening?
necessary,
Yeah,
or at bid opening,
yeah, I guess,
at
because
bid
that's what we,
opening,
yeah,
if necessary.
right.
Okay. Okay,
And that's all. That's all for that. I'm still working on the builder's risk insurance request from Travelers. I've played a little phone tag and not worked hard enough at it, and I will get that done this week and submit it to Tarma, and then they will submit it to Travelers, and then we'll get a big premium bill, like everything else, of $5 million worth of builder's risk insurance.
how much is that gonna cost?
They estimated it,
time. Less than 5 million.
yeah, less than $5 million. Could be somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000.
I need to get in the insurance business. Do you wanna, we need to do a call the roll on this motion. We didn't do that.
We didn't? Let's vote
Okay.
on that motion.
Yeah, back to that, so, Mr. Mucher,
Yes.
Mr. Crockett,
Yes.
Oh, I have one more motion, also. You recall over the last couple of meetings, we've gone back and forth as to who would be appointed prevailing wage coordinator. Margaret I was gonna do it originally, and then somebody volunteered Margaret to do it, which was very nice of them. I still don't know who that was. But if I find out,
so that's what you get for not being in a meeting, right?
I'll buy him a beer or something, I don't know. But then Margaret gracefully declined the invitation to do it, and so it was withdrawn. And so it went back to me, and then I got to thinking that who among us has got some experience with construction work and might have a little, and might have a little time in their schedule to do it. So he's not here this evening, but I'm going to move that we appoint Don Hollister as the prevailing wage coordinator for the construction project. So I've made the motion. Is there a second?
Prevailing wage, what is it?
Coordinator.
Coordinator.
Is there any further discussion regarding that? Hearing none, may we vote please?
Mr. Crockett.
Yes.
Mr. Mucher.
Yes. Now, because of sunshine laws and everything, I couldn't tell him, we couldn't make that decision beforehand, but I will let him know that the motion was made and was passed, that the board would like him to do that position. Now, he can accept or reject it, and if he happened to reject it, although I had an indication that he would accept it, if he happened to reject it, Assistant Chief Powell said he would take on the responsibility. So, one way or the other, we've got that position covered now, and that was a sticky little thing. Okay, anything else for the new firehouse? Let's move to the cemetery and road report.
Cemetery.
Sexton Okinawa.
We've been busy, we were busy last week. We had 3 burials in one day, first time ever, full burials,
Yeah,
and we managed to take care of it.
In one cemetery or both?
Both, like 2 down here and 1 in Clifton. The one in
Yeah,
Clifton
you-
was supposed to have been Tuesday, but they called at 11:45, said,
you were digging one when they were burying somebody, weren't you?
when Brandon stayed and covered
Mhm.
up here in the second one, the 1 o'clock one. Good thing they were graveside, and didn't have to weed them in.
Mhm.
But it worked out, we managed, a little hairy at first, but hey,
You
we're good enough to take care of things,
Mm-hmm.
but we did. The weeds are turning brown, if you haven't noticed on the roads.
good?
So I'm gonna work on the one in Clifton this week if we don't get our wedging started. So get the gravel on it.
Did you happen to address the weeds in the memorial scattering garden?
But not at the moment. We took care of some, but we didn't spray them at that.
Mhm.
I'll take care of them.
Mhm.
We pulled a bunch, but it's like
Yeah.
the others that weren't up decided they'd come up now.
Mhm. Boy, it's amazing.
Didn't take long, so you're back and
Yeah.
I noticed it today because I placed those stones around and a lady brought a stone for Quigley. So we placed it and the others.
I can't believe Rothman's had those stones made.
They're in place now.
I had long conversations with them about that, and then look what showed up.
Well, they're placed.
Yeah.
And, I think that's it for that. And on the roads, it's just hopefully we can wedge. Get our wedging done before they start. She said they'd hold us off as long as they could.
You got any information from Fairborn about?
He was supposed to call me today and he didn't, and I didn't get to call him, so I'll check in more.
Mhm.
Hopefully it's good news, I hope.
Mhm.
And if not, I'll take care of the roads in Clifton and get ready for that and go out and do some trimming.
Mhm.
We'll get on that. Things break down,
Yeah, they do.
juggling, fixing things and keeping up. Doing the best we can.
Anything else for cemetery? You potentially selling a natural burial lot? tomorrow?
Saturday.
Saturday.
The lady Saturday, I told her I'll meet her at 1 o'clock, because I'll be in town. I'll be here and I'll leave this weekend.
Inspector Zopp, worked on a project for us to lay out potential locations for the Oak Grove Cemetery.
Oh.
And, where is that? Oh, yeah. And he calculated that
What's the width, 245 feet?
366.
In that part back there? Okay.
366, and it's 691 feet long. We could do 9 trees on the length if we had a 77-foot canopy. Remember, we talked about an 80-foot
Right.
canopy. And 5 trees across if we did a 73-foot canopy. And I'm thinking, at least on, we could let that canopy go over the edge a little bit, and
We can
spread it out a little bit.
Can't let them go together, I mean, can't let the tree, you're talking about the canopy on the tree.
Yeah, but it could hang over, especially, obviously it could hang over into the natural burial. We could plant that tree right up against the line, and it would be we wouldn't care whether the 40 feet
You
encroached
go
on
through the first natural area.
Right,
we have now,
yeah.
right?
Now, we need to be a little bit more careful of putting it closer to the line, because we have no idea what would be there, in the future. But maybe just an eaves to, we're trying to squeeze things around. So anyway, that was nice of Richard to do that.
Is 80 a standard, or is that just, they're not all 80 feet canopy, right?
Well, theoretically they are. That's what they say to leave.
And that keeps them from getting into each other?
Mhm, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when they're fully mature.
Because I've looked at a few, and I thought, that's not quite 80 feet. When you look at some of the mature ones, you're thinking, is that a little high?
Well, are they fully mature? Are they 100?
Well, like the one on the corner of the Yellow Fairfield and coming in the cemetery, that's pretty solid, that's not 80 feet. It looked like 80 feet.
I'm going to,
I just-
you know, before we, you know, get there, I'm going to consult with our landscape architect, who, you know, did the design for the new addition for the trees.
Yeah, Roger.
Roger, yeah, and get his opinion on what the best tree and best canopy and would be, so, anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, nothing else for roads, fiscal officer? Sullivan?
Has no report.
I see. Well, that makes that simple, doesn't it?
Mm.
And I guess we even get more simple for the zoning inspector's report for the first meeting, or, no, wait a minute. This
Yeah,
is the
it's
second.
the second
This is
meeting,
the
yeah.
second
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, so,
Well,
He's legit.
bad person. All right, standing committee reports. MVRPC, that's easy, we did not meet last month. TAC committee, I'm not sure if Don went one or not. Regional Planning Commission meets tomorrow. We did meet last month. It's just always the weirdest thing, because then I have to remember exactly what we did last month. We approved one plot. We talked about updating the comprehensive plan for the county. We also talked about the complete census report. We did some budgetary work on the office. But the office is going to purchase a large-scale printer in coordination with the Greene County Engineers Office, so they can both share it and share the cost, which is good. And that happened last month. Senior Center, Mark, anything happening there?
No, no.
Clifton Cemetery, Don's not here. Economic Sustainability Committee, you went there last
Yes.
meeting, correct?
I did.
Uh-huh.
And it was a jam-packed meeting, but, and I took detailed notes with the thought that I would be able to read them and report,
Mhm.
but,
Oh, the floor is yours.
well, as it turns out, I can't read them.
Oh,
But it was focused, and a lot of the conversation at the end had to do with the men's group,
hmm.
what they were planning. And
You mean, like, in the past where they did economic studies, or?
Right.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out what the connection was, but I see now, if they do another study,
Mhm.
then your committee could benefit from that. If they don't, they might do one on their own, or
Right.
I don't know, something like that.
And
Yeah.
I suspect that that the men's group will do a study,
Do you?
but it'll be fairly costly, and it'll be
Mm-hmm.
a year or so down the road.
Well, I know in the past, different political subdivisions, the village, and I know we have contributed to those studies in the past also.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying we will or we won't, because we don't know what the depth and breadth of the studies will be.
Right.
That's big. So, you know, if it comes down to it, let us know what you're thinking of doing. Okay. I got in trouble the last time, YSDCDC, I can't report on it because I reported on it, or no, maybe I didn't, on the first, because we meet the same day as as our first meeting, first Monday, and so I might have kept quiet about it at our last meeting. I don't think I saw anything in the minutes about it, so I'll talk about it. We're established as a corporation with the Secretary of State of Ohio. We've been issued an employer identification number, so we can start, we can establish a checking account, and, you know, we could borrow or spend money as a nonprofit, even though we're not technically a nonprofit, but we have a window while we're in the application process that we can operate as a nonprofit. I'm not sure how long that window lasts, but I know it's there for a ways. We spent the whole, almost the whole meeting talking about housing in and around Yellow Springs and Miami Township and what potentially might be coming down the road for developments or for the glass farm or for other potential increases in the housing stock. Of course, there's nothing specific, and the Yellow Springs superintendent, school superintendent, either the old one or the new one, Mario, or the new person. And either of the school board members, the two school board members that theoretically should be there, none of those people were there, so we didn't get any further information on their idea of selling Mills Lawn property for residential housing and the high school property for residential housing. So that's still kind of on the back burner. I guess that's really the major part of that. Complete streets, that would be done, and he's not here. The mill is doing fine. I went through it the other day. Seems to be holding up.
I can add one thing.
Didn't have any foundations.
To the Clifton Union Cemetery report, which is I did follow up with Bath Township, Green Township, I'm sorry, about where's their payment for the 2018 maintenance. And the president said that he had forgotten all about it and asked me to get a copy to him, which I did 2 weeks ago, and I haven't received a check, so I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna follow up this week.
Nothing like being halfway through July or prior
And,
years.
And Clifton Cemetery can go ahead and pay the township. There's enough money they can do that and stop waiting on Bath Township.
That'd be good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any new business this evening? Any old business? Hearing none? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Mark?
I will make that
You
motion.
make that motion? I'll second it. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.